Everybody, welcome to another episode of Fight Night Chicago podcast. We are live here from Big League Burgers, 3734 West Urban Park Road here in Chicago. Make sure you guys stop in. One of the best Italian beefs I've ever had here. So it's pretty good, actually.
It smells amazing in here, dude.
Yeah.
I walked in here and I was like, first give me some fries. Give me that margarita you got behind you. And then behind next to Ish over here, we got like, how many beers is that? Let's say 15 beers, 20 beers?
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Oh, hey, we're staying here after this. I'll tell you that much.
For sure. Marco, look, so one thing we got to get out the way. Shout out Vote Energy, powered by Vote Energy, 549 hits. We got to shout out Green Line Electric LLC. And also shout out to Big League Burgers again. Shout out to boy Ish behind the camera.
Man.
And Marco, we got a great episode.
First of all, we wouldn't have an episode if it wasn't for Ish. First of all, let's give him a real shout out. We got to tag his page. We got to tag everything he's doing.
Absolutely.
We would be recording in a park somewhere right now if it wasn't for Big Leagues Burgers.
Yeah.
So come out to Big Leagues Burgers. The food is amazing. The drinks are amazing. The margaritas are amazing. Everything's amazing out here, man. Just come out here and get some good dinner.
Absolutely. Once again, I'm Zee. Got my boy Marco here. And then Marco, look, we got a special guest today. Tell them who we got today.
Dude. We're gonna talk about, first of all, you guys can see. I'm not gonna say nothing. First of all, we'll talk about that. But we got a power slap contender. We got an MMA contender. And we got a BKFC professional. BKFC professional, straight out of Chicago. I just found out you went to high school out in the north side of Chicago.
Yeah.
She's straight up Chicagoan, and you know how it is out here in Fight Night Chicago. We love Chicago. We love Chicago fighting. Shout out Marisol Ruelas.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. We've been talking to her for a minute. We wanted to get her on when she was at Power Slap.
Yeah.
This was what, like 6 months ago, 7 months ago?
Yeah, back in March.
Back in March, yeah. So ever since then we've been talking to her. We want to make sure she comes on. We bring the best fighters on here. We interview and ask the best questions. And like we said, we love Chicago. We love Chicago fighting. And you are a great representative of that sport. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Thank you for coming on. We're going to get right into it. So can you just share what got you into combat sports? What made you want to get into it?
That's a great question. I think when I was in school, I was the only girl on the football team.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I went to school, Pro Slap Career Academy, class of 2015.
Okay.
And I did football, and then my football coach was a wrestling coach. And so I joined, and then one of my best friends was on the team, and he was just kind of like, hey, there's an MMA gym that's like down the street from the gym from the school that just opened up, like we should go. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
No, I had already asked my dad if I can do boxing, and he was like, well, if you find a legit gym, but you should do MMA, like you should do that. He was watching, I think it was Holly Holm at the time.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, dude, I am not gonna get elbowed in the face. You are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, well, just let me know if you find a gym. And I ended up going just because he was my friend. Only because he was my friend I went, and then I just kept going.
Yeah.
And I never
So
stopped.
your dad said like, cool if you find a boxing gym, but find an MMA gym first.
Yeah.
Wow.
He wanted me to do mixed martial arts just because he felt like it was a better sport, especially being a female. And I don't know, he just kind of was like, I think you'd be better doing that instead. And he was a UFC fan too, so.
Okay.
Oh, that's where it
Yeah, makes
starts.
sense.
You know, once they're UFC, and then they think that's better. I will say, MMA seems to be a little more active in terms of high level sports, and which you are in high level sports. It makes sense. You want to take that route. And it's pretty cool that sort of you got that support immediately. And we do want to touch base on that a little bit later, but we'll keep it going. Did you always see yourself stepping into the fight world when you were growing up, or was it something that you thought that you found later in life?
I think I found that later in life. I never, first off, even when I started training, I don't think I even thought I would ever be a pro. I saw pros as like, oh my God, like you guys are so cool. I could never reach that level. And then when I joined the team and when I started fighting, I just kept going, and it was just kind of like whatever happens, happens. But I'm not like, I'm here because I want to be a star. I'm here because I enjoyed it, and I just went with whatever route was brought in front of me.
Yeah.
So.
And then we saw in the past interview that your mom wasn't a fan of you fighting. Has that changed over time, or?
I think She wasn't at first, and then she was, because she was like, okay, like I think she saw that it got me out of trouble. It got me out of like ditching school and the bad things. And then I became a mom, and she was like, okay, you're done, right? Like, are you done finally? And then I started doing more stuff, and she was like, all right, well, just be careful because you have a kid and you're a mom first. So I was like, okay. So now she's kind of like, she's a fan, but she's like, just don't get hurt, please. So,
this is where sort of I'm curious about. It sounds like your dad was supportive from the start, and your dad wanted you to get into MMA immediately. And then when you were like, hey mom, I got my first professional bout, she was not happy, right? That's sort of how the case is looking.
Yeah, she, I think her focus was she wanted me to go to school, and she wanted me to focus on college and doing that, and like the whole you're girl. So, and I do have two brothers, so it was kind of like they were in school and they were doing what they were supposed to do, but I was like not doing that.
And you know what I will say is, it's like, what are you supposed to do? Question, quote unquote. It sounds like what you mentioned earlier. You said you were getting in trouble in school in the past. Maybe you were taking the wrong path. And you found a discipline that let you sort of solidify yourself and ground yourself and find what you wanted to do. Would you suggest that moving forward to anybody that is in quote unquote wrong path? And would you say that that's sort of a safe way to go?
Yeah, and I tell that to parents all the time, and I tell that to females and anybody that tells me like, hey, I want to learn how to defend myself, or I want an extracurricular activity, or the girls, or anybody that comes by the gym that I know, I'm like, hey, did you join wrestling? Hey, did you join this? Or I'll talk to their parents like, I love mixed martial arts because it gives you a focus. It gives you, and you don't have to necessarily fight. You don't have to train to fight. You can just train because these are my friends. Like, I'm not gonna go out and go to a house party because I have training. I have a match this weekend. So I just feel like it kind of changes your mind on what's important and what's not.
Yeah.
Listen,
that's tough,
dude. I feel like we represent a big group of people out in Chicago. You guys have seen the news. They're talking about people in Chicago is dangerous. There's a lot of bad paths to take, quote unquote. I feel like you're a great representation of what that means, dude. It means focusing in something that you love and you enjoy and finding joy out of that. And whether that is your personal home gym that you decided to go to, any of the gyms out south, any of the gyms out north, man, just find the gym, introduce yourself, and take the class, man. Don't be scared. How many gyms have you met already?
Oh man, that's a lot. A good 10,
and I
15.
think all of it represents the greater idea of like you are an incredible person. You can accomplish a lot of great things, and next thing you know, you'll be in bare knuckle boxing like over here. Over here.
Absolutely.
You never know.
Go ahead, Marco.
Oh, dude, you can't give me back-to-back questions. Hold up. All right. I just said it. We're out of Chicago, man. We love the Midwest. Fighting out of Chicago, how has that been? Because I've been keeping a track of social media. Some people give Chicago a lot of hate. And first of all, we know first and foremost, like, share, subscribe. You already know that Chicago is the best area for combat sports. Although there's a lot of hate out there, man. How would you say Chicago is for combat sports? Give me your unfiltered advice, unfiltered everything for combat sports in Chicago.
I feel like as far as training, we have some of the best training. We have some of the most disciplined fighters, just because this is like, it's not a lot of people have something. They don't have like, I don't know, we don't have mountains, we don't have outdoorsy stuff, we don't have like lakes that you can go canoeing and all those, like, I don't know, surfing, but we have a lot of good gyms. We have a lot of good boxing gyms, a lot of good MMA gyms, a lot of good jiu-jitsu gyms in every corner, and I just feel like the sport of combat, like any combat sport, is growing so much because it's giving more people like a door to go to places to compete in like outside of Chicago or compete in Chicago, and it's nice that like, I don't don't know. I feel like the kids growing up in the city, especially like the south side or the sides where you have to defend yourself or know how to defend yourself.
Yeah.
It's like they go there specifically because like if I get jumped in school, I'm gonna box them. But then they start going and they're like, I know how to fight. I don't need to waste my time with you. Or I have a match coming up. I'm not gonna get in trouble. And that's how it starts. So I feel like we have the best disciplined fighters that come out of the Midwest.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly too.
I think there's a lot of grit and a lot of influences outside of Chicago that can help fighters. And yeah, I'll say that because I'm at Sam's. We know Rick Ramos. We see all these gyms that are across the Chicagoland area. We know that these kids, they're coming from a place because first of all they're seeking a safe place to be at. Yeah. Second of all, they're seeking a discipline that they're comfortable with. And third of all, they want to fight. It takes a certain amount of discipline and a certain amount of grit to want to fight, and once you find that group of people, you are in it. Yeah, you are searching for fights. You are becoming a family. You're signing with management teams. You are fighting at one fight every 2 month basis, whatever the case is. There's so much out here, and all you gotta do is go to that first class. Yeah. Doesn't matter what gym you go to. All you gotta do is go to that first class, and everything will just sort of fall in place in front of you.
Yeah.
And then Marisol, who are some fighters that you look up to, past, present? Who inspires you? Who are some fighters that you look up to coming out of this?
Oh my God, I have so many. I remember when I first started, Cynthia Calvillo was like, I knew of her since she was an amateur, and I knew the whole she was only an amateur for 6 months, and then she was in the UFC. So it was like I just loved her grit. Max Holloway is another one.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a good one.
His striking is just beautiful. That if he loses, I'm like, no. I don't want to say it, but I do want to say it. But my ex-husband, Said Yaqub Kahramonov, he is aside from the fact, let's say I don't know him. Yeah. Let's pretend I don't know him. We get it. He is such a his wrestling, his judo, his striking has become I feel top 5 in the world, and I think that had the UFC kept him, he would have just been up there with Umar. But those are my top 3. As far as bare knuckle right now, Brittany Hart. Okay. You can't that's a 6-time champion. Yep. She is just amazing. But yeah, all the female fighters. Canelo. Can never go wrong with Canelo.
Hey, Canelo's coming up. You got him over Crawford?
Yes. Okay. I'm from Jalisco. Oh.
How do you think that's gonna go down? We got a list of questions, but let's talk about that for a second.
That's a big one.
How do you think it's gonna go down?
I think the first round is gonna be a lot of jab and move, and Canelo's gonna keep tight and jab and move. I think Crawford's gonna be the one kind of being more offensive in the first or second round, and then I feel like the third round is when Canelo's gonna start okay, now I'm gonna jab cross hook, or I'm gonna hook cross. I feel like that's when he usually starts picking it up. I don't see a knockout. I don't know. I feel like it's just gonna be more of a decision.
Do you see a knockdown?
A knockout?
Knockdown.
No.
No?
Maybe. Actually.
Maybe a knockdown. I give a knockdown.
Maybe.
Who do you give the knockdown to?
I give it to Crawford.
I feel like Crawford's gonna get the first one. Yeah. To be honest.
Listen. We all know here in Fighting Chicago, I am Canelo. That is my guy. Canelo's my guy. I will argue with my dad about it. My dad swears that Canelo's not the guy, and I'm like, you know what, Dad? Yes, he is. Crawford's picture just came out. What is it? 2 hours ago?
Yeah, he looked jacked.
Dude, he looks huge.
Yeah. There's gonna be a downfall though.
He could be
moving up that much, tire him out real fast.
Weight. Weight is
What I'm saying is maybe he's already there, man.
He could be.
What if he's already there? The fight is what? 8 days out?
Just a few days out.
The fight is 8-9 days out. He could be okay already in terms of cutting and all the kids. And you know what? That might not be the case. but what if it is?
Yeah.
What if the weight is not an issue anymore because of he's been prepping for months and months, and all of a sudden Canelo is looking at a guy just as big as Better Beef, just as big as Bivol, and what's he gonna do? Because one thing about Crawford is he will be in your face.
No, it's going to be a great fight. Like she said, I don't see it being a knockout. I do see a knockdown.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a really great fight. I'm excited to see it.
I think
It's you know, I will say I think that MMA has done a better job lately of keeping us involved, and boxing is trying to come back.
Yeah.
Boxing is trying to come back, and that starts with Canelo Crawford, and we heard about Mayweather and
Don't even get me started on that. Let's keep the questions going.
about Tank.
Don't get me started on that. No, don't get me started on that, man.
Let's go back to the topic at hand, which is Marisol. We're gonna keep it going. Beyond fighting, what's something that the fans might not know about you? Talk about something that the fans might not know about your interests, whatever the case is. Let them know.
I mean, beyond fighting, my whole life is just my kid.
Yeah.
I have no time. Like, my life is literally, I train, I go to work, I take care of my kid. If I'm not working, if I'm not training, my time is my kid.
Yeah.
My phone's not in my hand. It's just, all of my money goes to my kid.
Yeah.
His future, his tuition, his all of it. It's just, if I have 30 minutes before class or my training, that means that's 30 minutes of his judo class.
Yeah.
So it's just like, there is nothing to me. It's just my kid. It's just, like, my parents did a good job of making me feel like I was the center of attention along with my brothers, and I feel like that's my job to do for my kid. So.
It all stems from how you grew up.
That's what it's about.
You know, you grew up with a lot of love and affection from your family, and you want to give that back to your kid, and that's beautiful. You being a dad, you know what that means.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're coming from.
Dude, I went to go drop off a ticket for a boxing event not too long ago, and he was like, "Hey, you gotta catch me with the stroller. I want to be at the park with my kid." I'm like, I will catch you, man.
I got 2 kids playing in dirt. The mom is out there just swinging out, but it was cool though. I enjoy it. It's one of my favorite things.
You didn't have to say she was swinging out.
Yeah, she hits pretty good. She does pretty good on the softball field.
Oh,
She does,
man, it's just beautiful to see that, like, the next generation just wants their kids to do better, and that's what everybody wants. You know, our parents wanted us to be better than them, and it's very clear that you want your son to be better than who you are, and that's beautiful because you saying he's in judo already. He's gonna be a killer.
Yeah. Oh,
he's gonna be a killer.
He shadow boxes on the side. We'll be at the grocery store. He's like, "Look, I'm strong." Starts doing pushes, but I'm like, "Dude, the floor's dirty. Don't do that. Get up. Not right now. Show me later."
He's gonna be good. You can already tell.
Oh yeah.
I do got a quick question for Marisol. It's off the script.
Okay.
Now you have an iconic scar up here, right up here now,
I do.
and you have an iconic photo. And the
photo's right there. First of all, Zeke,
the photo of you is almost like an album cover almost. This is probably the best photo I've seen all year. Can you explain this and what happened?
Yeah, so second round. After the first round I feel like it was a really good round for me. And then second round comes and I'm like, look, man, I have to just swing because this girl's long, and I'm like, I can't. Like, I have to take one to get one. I cannot. Like, she was just that long, that tall, and she was strong. And all I remember was, like, she's closing in, and I'm trying to come in, but I can't. So at this point, I'm like, F it. And I'm just, like, swinging. I'm just hook. Somehow, I feel like I don't even feel the punch. I just feel the blood, just, like, all in my face. And then I was like, okay, and now I'm blinking because I can't see it.
Yeah.
So now I'm backing out, and I remember watching the video back, and I remember I see myself backing up, and I'm blocking with one hand like this, and I'm wiping.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to wipe, and then she hits me so hard right here. and it was the hardest. Like it didn't even hurt. Like it stung so bad.
Yeah.
So I remember I was like, I can't see. If she hits me again, I'm gonna like, she's probably gonna knock me out or something. And I was like, I'd rather take a knee than get knocked out. So I took a knee and I looked down, and I think that's when I'm closing my eyes because I still had the pain in my eye, and I think that's when they took the picture.
Yeah.
Right after I closed up.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
It's a dope ass photo though.
Let's clear something up. That was not your weight class.
It was not.
It was not. Tell the camera right now.
That was not.
Because
okay.
your upcoming fight is in your weight class.
It is, yeah.
I know that much. We do our research every fight in Chicago. We know that first of all, you're a warrior for getting up in the cage.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Getting up in the ring. Second of all, that was not your weight class, and I cannot wait to see what you do when you are in fact in your weight class.
Yeah, thank you.
And aside from that, aside from going into your weight class, you will have your family nearby. This next BKFC fight is in Indianapolis.
Hammond, Indiana at the Hammond Casino.
Hammond, Indiana. What is that, a 2-hour drive?
No, it's not even that long.
I think it's like
30 minutes.
Closer.
Yeah, it's
30 minutes?
It's in Hammond.
Oh my God,
Hammond's
we're gonna be there.
Yeah.
We're gonna be there.
It's at the
Hammond's
casino.
close. Yeah.
That means that your family's nearby.
Yep.
Is your son gonna be there?
I would have loved to have him there, but I think it's in the casino. So
Yeah.
It's 21 and over.
21 and over?
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. So part of my question was like, would you want your son to be there? It sounds like yes, that's the case. There are certain fighters that don't want their kid there. The next part is, with your family being there, how do you think that? What kind of mindset does that put you in now? Because you're talking about before you were in Florida. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it Florida or was it somewhere else? Washington. It was in Washington. You didn't have family nearby. Now you're talking about your mom didn't want you doing the sport in the first place, being there. Your dad pushing you to join MMA.
Yeah.
How is that looking for you now?
I think now they're just supportive regardless.
Yeah.
They just kind of, whether they like it or not, they're like, we got to be there for you, and we're gonna, be there 100%. I hope they're there. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be there, whether they want to or not. I think it helps me a lot mentally. I know that when I was an amateur and I fought locally, they were always there, no matter what. And I think that's why I was so successful, like towards the end of my amateur career, because I knew they were there. So I was like, I will get knocked out, go to sleep before I tap. Or, like, you better knock me out because I am not quitting. So
in front of my mom that didn't want me to do this, there's no way.
Yeah, no, literally. I'm like, I can't prove my mom right. She's always right. So
you got to fight through it. You got to prove them wrong at all times.
Oh man.
So we're going to get into the power slap, which I'm excited to talk about. How did power slap come about? Did they actively pursue you, or did you go to power slap, or did you reach out? How did that come about?
So I am very lucky to have an amazing management with Rubenstein, Danny. So Danny actually reached out to me last year around July, I want to say, or October. And he originally was like, hey, do you want to do a boxing match this weekend? And I was like, no. And he's like, what about power slap? And I was like, no. And then he was like, okay. I was like, well, maybe next time. Because he was like, not for any kind of money. I was like, maybe, I don't know. Next time. He reaches out again, I think end of October. He's like, hey, do you wanna fight for power slap in December? And I was like, okay, sure, let's do it. I had a couple offers. I said, yeah. They didn't follow through, so I guess he was like, hey, they found an opponent for March, so you're gonna be going March. And then contract came in, and then I had a good maybe 4 months to prep for it. So and then next thing I know, I was at the Circa in Vegas getting ready for power slap. So that was amazing. That was like a crazy experience.
Well, lucky enough, we got a power slap person coming in right now, and this is the table, so they're ready.
Oh no.
That'd be wild if they really did come in.
I know.
And it just kind of, when you say like prepare for it, how do you prepare for something like power slap? And then I'm just curious though, because my wife watches power slap a lot. And how was it like preparing for the slap to come at you, and then also like taking it, and then also like shaking it off to like go back again and do it again?
You know, I have gotten that asked a lot, and I still don't know how to like answer because I don't know. I'm very lucky to have a coach that just like he knows how to just figure it out.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't have anybody at our gym that does it, let alone in like Chicago or Illinois that does it. So we just kind of practice a lot of baseball movements. So
Which is
like,
fair.
Yeah, because you know you're swinging, a lot of aiming. I remember constantly. It was like every day for half an hour a day. It was a lot of neck exercises with the band resistance.
Okay.
I was so lucky and so fortunate to have teammates that let me slap them at least once.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I like.
It's a good gym right there.
It is.
I, you know,
Do you want to shout out that gym right now?
Top Notch and Villa Park.
Oh, snap! Shout out Top Notch.
Yeah, all of my teammates there. It's just like, you know, any venture that I like to have, they're like, all right, let's get, because I feel like I'm the only female that's there, so they just kind of like, all right, well, Marisol's doing this now. Yeah. Get in line.
Yeah.
That's
How many teammates did you slap?
Oh, I have a video of it actually. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had 5 teammates.
Okay. That's good.
And all of them just lined up and had their arms behind their back, and they were like, okay. And I slapped every single one of them.
That's crazy. To just get prepared to get slapped.
Have you posted that before?
Yeah. I think it's one of my stories that I'm like
Getting ready
slapping all
for
of
it?
them. Yeah.
I'd love to repost that just so the viewers can see that.
I'm gonna slap my wife with a power slap.
I know.
I hate just to go do it.
Can you release this info? Are you still under power slap at all, or is it sort of your management deciding what's going on next, or how does that look?
So they did give me a multi-fight contract.
Okay.
Danny kind of just tells me when they are offering something. I'm assuming it's because I've been doing bare knuckle and I've been actively for bare knuckle that they're kind of like, okay, well, we'll like venture or we'll wait for her. I know they are trying to like bring in more people, like the wrestling world. So maybe they're just bringing people in and then bringing, you know.
The time will come.
Yeah, but right now I'm kind of like actively somewhere else, so it's not too bad.
I mean, right now you're preparing for a war.
Yeah.
First of all.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, do you approach BKFC the same way that you approach Power Slap in terms of training and in terms of mentality? Is that the same mentality that you have going in, or does it change a little bit?
No, I think it changes a lot, like drastically. I have a lot of respect for Power Slap. I know there's a lot of athletes that would never do it just because they think it's crazier. And it is for guys that are, 200 plus pounds. For a female that's 135 and under, I feel like my biggest threat and the biggest thing that I was scared of was not to go viral for a really bad slap and just face planting.
Going to sleep, one of those.
Just like, bam. Becoming a meme, that I think that's what I was more scared of. And then going into like a bare knuckle fight, it's like, shit, I can get serious, like I can get hurt like bad. So that's kind of the difference
it's just like you guys wrap your wrists to make sure that your wrists are okay, and then you just throw hands,
and
man.
you just go to town.
And we try to cover all the sports as much as we can, and some of the bare knuckle stuff has been the most viral stuff that comes around.
Oh, really?
It is crazy, and I respect you, and I wouldn't mess with you. I wouldn't mess with you because one punch. You guys saw earlier how one punch looked, and I can only imagine 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, my face was swollen for a good week and a half. So
just a week and a half. You shake it off, get back in the gym, and you're ready for the next fight.
Yeah, it's fine. No, I feel like it's a street fight essentially with rules, and that's what it was. Like, it literally just go in there and you can practice your technique all day, but you just have to bite down and swing. Just make sure your muscle memory is on point because you're just gonna swing, and you know, one bad punch, it stings good enough for you to be like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
So
That's intense.
And you're a BBJ purple belt, but you're also known for striking. So what's your favorite part about MMA, boxing, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai? Which one is your favorite?
You know, I'm a grappler at heart.
Okay.
I feel like my favorite will always be grappling. There's a reason I'm a purple belt. I worked really hard. I trained with Jillian Knoll, who was the Medusa champion, I feel like last year. Was it last year? And being being a girl at a gym, it's like it gives you an advantage because like one hard punch from a guy, it's gonna like kind of wobble me, but like I can grapple against the same guy and choke him out in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So I feel like I ventured out to power slap and to bare knuckle, and I did the TCL boxing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I did for their opening. I was in Team Miami.
Okay.
So I did all of that because my striking wasn't as good.
Yeah.
And obviously now I feel like it's getting there, but I love grappling.
Yeah.
I love grappling, so eventually.
Do you wanna follow the grappling leagues, or do you wanna go into back into MMA? What do you think is next? It sounds like, first of all, you're focused on BKFC. That is your first and foremost focus. Someone's gonna try to punch you, you're gonna try to punch them. But it sounds like you really enjoy the grappling. You really want to take that path and that route. What do you think is next for you?
I want to focus on bare knuckle. I think that I want to climb the ranks with bare knuckle. I want to see where I can go with bare knuckle. I know a lot of people are like, your face, and like, no, and you know, there's so many people that are so against me doing it, but I loved it. I loved it more than boxing, more than MMA, more than any of it. Eventually, I probably will have the itch to do at least one more MMA fight, or even go back to MMA for a little bit, but for now, I feel like I have to focus on this, and my grappling is just because that's just something that's going to help me in life.
Yeah.
And obviously I have to teach my kid eventually, so but
I think it's pretty impressive that, first of all, it sounds like you're more confident in BJJ in the first place, and then you're venturing off into boxing, into bare knuckle, into hard combat, you know, whatever the case is. When you decide to go back into MMA, it's gonna be a cakewalk.
Yeah.
There's no way that's not gonna be a cakewalk, because you're gonna be like, well, I see these hard punches coming, and then I'm gonna drop down, I'm gonna put them to the floor, and I'm gonna choke them out. And if I don't choke them out, guess what? You're gonna stand and bang, and you're not gonna last, because you're gonna be 5, 6, 7 bare knuckle fights in, maybe with the title around your waist. Who knows? Who knows? We want that. We want that. We want that. But it is great to see sort of the amount of grit and the amount of love that you have for the sport. So it's pretty great to see how that's going. So we asked already if what your favorite sport was, whether it was BJJ or boxing, whatever the case was. Did that find you early in life? Was BJJ your first love, quote unquote, or did you find that later in life? Well, it sounds like your dad wanted you to do MMA from the beginning. Tell us about that journey. Was it boxing first and then BJJ? Were you just like in whatever class, you know, after you mentioned that you were with a teammate that started picking up MMA, but what was your first love of the sport?
I think it was kickboxing.
Okay.
Yeah. I hated jiu-jitsu because I didn't understand it. I mean, I was in the wrestling team, but it was high school wrestling compared to like MMA wrestling. I hated jiu-jitsu. I didn't understand it. It was like, it took me a long time. I was at Second City, which doesn't exist anymore, but yeah, like the coach there, her case, who sadly passed away a few years ago, he went to Holland. His technique was Dutch kickboxing, so it was a lot of movement with kicking, and he just got me to do fast hands, and my favorite was a spinning back fist, and I was hitting everybody with that. Kickboxing was just like, I was good at it. I was so good at it. Then when I went to Top Notch, Coach Mac was like, okay, this girl can stand and bang. She has no issue standing and banging, but her grappling sucks. It sucked so bad. And he worked on it with me every day, an hour a day. And I think when I finally understood it, when I finally had like, I think all of my finishes that I ever had were by rear naked choke. That's when I was like, I get it. I understand it. And then I think I got really good at that. And now it's like back to fixing my striking. So, yeah.
I would argue with you, say it's not back to fixing your striking. It's back to sort of making finesses in your striking, because with the amount of experience that you have and with the sport and in general that you've taken boxing, you've taken kickboxing, I feel like your stand-up game is pretty respectable. Not pretty, very respectable. You know, and I think that direction that you're taking is pretty intense and pretty great. And I can't wait to see how it goes in your next BKFC fight. I know it's going to go great.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited too, because I know I'm going to be there, and then it's going to be good. So we got one more question for you before we get up out of here. For young fighters, especially women, who want to follow in your footsteps, what advice would you give them?
First and foremost, I would say that it's not that serious. Like, I remember when I was young, everything was like, oh my God, it's the end of the world, and I would cry to sleep because, I don't know, like high school drama or work drama or all of that stuff, and it would just like tear me apart. Or like when I lost, when I started competing and I lost, and like in my head I was like, I trained so hard and I sucked, and it's like, no, it just wasn't your day. And so like I just felt like if I would have taken it serious, then I would have been like, I lost, so like I'm just gonna quit. Like I think I wouldn't have experienced the amount of things that I experienced in life. I don't know, I just feel like women, young women, even men or anybody like growing in this sport, you can be 40-something years old and starting. It does not matter. It's just like, and I'm sure everybody says this, just keep training and just keep your head up, and it's like, yeah, but make sure you're mentally stable. Make sure that you go home and you understand that like you're alive, you have a roof under your head, you have food, you have family, because you can train all you want, you can go to the gym and like do really good at sparring, you can go to a fight and win your fight, but if mentally you're not okay, it's gonna eat you alive at the end of the day. So mental health matters.
That's a good message right there.
That is beautiful. First of all, I'm a strong believer that your mental health should come first. It sounds like you found some peace going to the gym and sort of deciding what was next for you. And with that in mind, like, the camera's yours. What do you gotta tell them? What do you gotta tell everybody? Let them know what's going on, because there's a lot of stuff coming soon, and it's coming fast. And we just want to highlight Chicago boxing, Chicago fighting, Chicago stand-up, Chicago MMA, everything that is Chicago. And you know what? At the end of the day, we think Chicago, we think of you, because you are very much in the area and in all of the combat sports that is Chicago and that is the Midwest area. Please.
I mean, I just want to say that first and foremost, Chicago is Hispanic people. Chicago is people from all over the world. Chicago is immigrants. Chicago is, you know, like there's so many people that are from around the world, and everything that's going on right now, like fucking sucks. I'm sorry. Just cut that out. But like it sucks. You know, it's not okay for people to be like having to lock down in schools and lock down at home, or be scared to go to the grocery store because, you know, like at the end of the day, yeah, like they're immigrants, but this is their home. The food that you taste comes from immigrants. Everything comes from immigrants. And I understand that people have their beliefs, but you know, this is somebody's home. We're trying to make it better. There's good people, yeah, there's bad people, and like, okay, you know, that can be handled separately than hurting the innocent people that are just trying to make a living and trying to stay away from bad areas of the world. I also want to say, like, again, mental health matters.
There's no reason to be worried or concerned about what you're saying, because mental health is very much important. And I think that being an advocate of something like that is very important, because you're gonna, if you don't advocate for that stuff, the next thing that's gonna happen is the next generation of people are gonna think that it's okay to not deal with those problems.
They try to
that's not right.
Yeah, they try to ignore it.
That's not right.
Yeah, no, there's so many fighters, especially from Chicago MMA, from a lot of gyms around the area that, you know, things didn't work out and nobody knew what was going on. Nobody talked to them and their lives seemed perfectly fine. There were these champions. There's champions at ONE FC. There's champions all over the world that are going through things, and they didn't solve those things at home because, you know, like, they're champions and everybody's friends with them. So, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. And again, October 18th, I hope everybody's there because it's going to be such a good card. It's going to be a great card. We have a lot of home-based fighters that it's their first time, but then it's also not like, you know, they're coming back to fight. So I'm so excited to come back at my weight class.
We are excited too. She left a great message. We're going to have a full card down below.
Chicago, it is 30 minutes out. 40 minutes out of you're pretty far, like, with a south, whatever the case is. It is less than an hour out. You gotta buy tickets. You gotta support local Chicago events. How many events did we have this past? Summer just ended. How many boxing events were there?
Over 20. Over 30.
Over 20, 30 boxing events.
I think more
we
than that.
post them all, man. Why? Because we want to support Chicago boxing. We want to support Chicago MMA. These kids and these adults are working their butt off. To make it big, just like you have, and get to the next level. And the only way that works is by buying their tickets. It is by they're selling. You go to a local gym, and one of your boys is selling tickets. Buy a ticket. Go see them. Go see them fight, because they are working their butt off and they are trying to make it big. And next thing you know, you're gonna want to try to buy a ticket off of her. And too bad you can't, because she doesn't sell them anymore. She doesn't sell them anymore, because now you got to go to BKFC and buy that ticket and go see her live, because that is what is next. That is what is exciting, and I cannot wait.
I can't wait either. Make sure you guys check her out October 18th at the Hammond Horseshoe Casino. Shout out Big Lee Burger. Shout out Vote Energy. Shout out my boy Ish behind the camera.
Yes, sir.
Shout out everybody that supports us. And shout out Marisol. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you guys next time. Peace out.
Peace out.